I'm like, want to just squeeze your brain and like.
Yes.
But I don't want to take up all of your time. But in these last few minutes, I wanted to ask a couple of other questions.
Okay.
One being, you said a lot. And so I wanted to find out if there's anything else, someone that might be saying, I keep trying, but I keep hitting a hurdle. Is there any specific thing that you would like to, advice you would like to lend to that person? I know you said that you have the course,
Right.
in your blog, so I'm going to go check that out. But any specific advice that you would like to offer to them?
So I would say, the blog, the Cup of Diversity blog, I'm a writer by training, and and just by passion, I love to write. And I had been saying I wanted to blog for years, but it never done it. When COVID hit, and COVID is a big factor in my business process and planning. I mean, I had, there were a lot of opportunities that I was able to take advantage of because I was working remotely and other people were. And so there were a lot of opportunities that I was able to take advantage of during that time period, as difficult as it was for the nation and for many people. There were some silver linings, So I was in a group of Black women educators, and it was a Zoom meeting group that someone started just to give us something to do while we were all, resting in place. And so there was a woman on that call, and she said, because they asked, well, what types of things do you really want to, what are your goals for the year? And there was a woman, I didn't know her. I knew hardly anyone on the call, actually. Someone just invited me. And she said, well, I've always wanted to blog. And she said, but I just don't know when I'm going to start. I've been saying it for years that I want to blog. And I heard her say that, and I heard my own voice. And I said, I have been saying I want to blog for years. I don't want to be like this woman and in 10 years say, wow, I always wanted to blog. And so my biggest advice to your audience is just to start it. Start it. I didn't know how to do social media, but in college, I had learned how to build a website. Very simple website. So no, not a lot of bells and whistles, very simple. But I could build a website. And so I got a website going. I didn't know how to market myself on social media, but I knew how to print out a testimonial from a school and handwrite a letter and say, if you need any support with diversity, and drop that in the mail to different companies. And so use the skill set that you have. I'm a teacher, and so I know grammar. I know how to write. I know how to spell. I know how to put sentences together. People don't. That's a skill. So when I wrote handwritten letters to businesses with these really nice printouts of things that I had edited really well, they were polished. They looked wonderful. Use the skill set that you already have. Take a journal, take a book, and write down. There are so many skills that we have that we don't even realize they're business skills. Then after that, I would say just start. So with the blog, one of my friends, he's a blogger, wonderful man, Wes Daniels, and he gave me the best advice because he's a blogger. He said, Krishauna, don't wait for it to get beautiful. Just start the thing. Just start it. So my blog it's beautiful now. But it wasn't very beautiful at the time. It was just, kind of nuts and bolts, but my words were powerful. That blog was not very beautiful, but it was right after George Floyd died and was murdered. And I wrote a blog post that was 10 tips for white allies. So 10 things that white people can do to support the Black community and just humanity in general. The president of Forsyth Tech read that blog. It was not a beautiful blog aesthetically, but the content was solid. She read that blog, and she ended up writing a blog herself about the injustices that happened. I didn't know this woman, never met her. And she quoted my blog.
Wow.
Now, my blog had only been up and running. George Floyd was murdered in May, and I started my blog in May. So it hadn't even been up for a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I put the blog out there, and at that point, the only social media that I had was LinkedIn. And I put it on LinkedIn, and that's how the president of Forsyth Tech saw that blog about 10 tips that white allies can do. Then from there, The dean of the University of Virginia at Lynchburg saw that blog.
Wow.
He sent out a letter to, a lot of people putting out statements about George Floyd. He sent out a statement to the University of Lynchburg. I've never even been to the University of Lynchburg.
Yeah.
He quoted my blog in his letter to his campus.
Wow.
Then I got a call from Insider, which is a major kind of, business pop magazine.
Yes.
They contacted me and they said, we're writing a story on cancel culture and we would love to feature you in this story.
Wow.
That's from the blog. The last thing I'll say, I get a call from Routledge Press. That's a huge publication company. Routledge contacted me and they said, we want someone to write a book on racism and we want you to be the one to do it. Wow. I asked them, I said, now this happened maybe, so we're in February, this was November. Okay?
Wow.
So, and I started the blog in May. So this was 5 months after I started the blog. I get a call from Routledge. Routledge says, we want someone to write a book on racism and we want you to be the one to do it.
Oh, wow.
I said, how did you find me? Now, I thought because I've been consulting for many years. So I thought they were going to say from my consulting work. I've been an educator for 20 years. I thought they were going to say from an educator. They said, your blog, we found you we read all the things you've been writing about anti-racism. And that's the way that we found you. Do you see how much fruit came from just starting something?
Just starting.
The blog was not beautiful, Dia. I can promise you. I even used to tell people I'm embarrassed because it looks so bad. But the content was solid. Mm-hmm. And that's what people were hungry for, answers and for paths forward. And that's what I was able to offer them. The blog looks much better now. It offers so much more now than it did, in May of last year. But I would say just start. So take advantage of the skills that you have, start. And the last piece of advice that I would give is get a team approach. So spiritually, I had a spiritual unction to contact 2 women who were not real big in the consulting world, but they were consultants, but they weren't huge. But I knew that they knew more than I knew. And so I contacted them and I said, I'm starting to really get into my consulting work. I had been doing it for years, but remember I told you a lot of that was not for pay. Now I was really getting engrossed in the business aspect of consulting, where I'm able to offer jobs to people and hire people. And so I contacted these 2 women who were further along with their consulting than I was. And I said, do you all mind if we meet once a week? You teach me everything that you know about consulting. I'll teach you everything that I know about consulting. Although I hadn't been making a lot of money off of it, I had been doing it for a long time. And I had a product I could share. They had actually been making money off of it and making a business off of it. But we had a lot that we could share with each other. And so we began to meet once a week. I have a blog about this too, Black women, women supporting women. And so we began to meet once a week and we simply would share everything that we knew that we could share with each other. We did that for months. Then we started meeting once every 2 weeks. And then this year we're going to start once a month because we're getting, we've gotten so much information from each other. All of our businesses are absolutely thriving. I mean, if people could see where we were and where we are now, but it's that collective power. It's that, in our community, that Black Wall Street mentality.
Yes.
And all of us came together. There was no competition. We weren't competing with each other. We were fine with each person making it. We realized there's enough out here for all of us.
Yes.
And if I can help you, it doesn't take anything away from me.
When
we would get a win, we would post it for all of us would post on social media. She has, just the same way that I got the book, working on the book contract now. We're working out all the details of that, but working on this book contract. One of my friends one of the 2 friends who I mentioned, she got a contract last month with Triad Moms. And she's a blogger for Triad Moms, and they're paying her every month.
Wow.
And she had been blogging, for for not trying to make money off a blog, just getting a message out. And now she's been hired for she has a 1-year contract working with this.
Wow.
And so, there's expertise all around you. And don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, can we start meeting once a week and you share with me, I'll share with you. You would be amazed how much collective knowledge and power you have.
That is, oh my gosh, just a nugget. That is a lot. And just to sum up everything that you said, like you said, and a going thread in all of the interviews that I've done is start with what you have. Mm-hmm. Start with what you got. Like, it's okay. Like you said, it's okay if it's not pretty. Yes. It's okay if you don't say it, if you don't have all the aesthetics, it's okay. It's all right. Just start with what you have and just do it.
Yes,
just do it.
Just do
and
it.
Don't be afraid to reach out. And one of the beautiful things that you talked about was Black women supporting Black women. And just real quickly, I just want to share this experience that I had once at a church, St. Peter's World Outreach Center, when I was attending there. The pastor's daughter, Pastor Mia, she had this seminar that she had started doing with the Black girls in the church. I forget what it was called at the time, but it was basically like teaching us to be like, the princesses that we were, And so this exercise she had us to do, and literally that exercise, it has stuck with me even to this very day. But she had all of us we were in like a gym, and you had to partner up with someone you did not know. And we had to we had to cross our legs and sit face to face with our knees touching. And you had to look each other in the eye. She said, you can't look at their forehead. You can't look at the nose. You got to look each other straight in the eye and say nothing. And we did that, and at first it was so uncomfortable because you just like, you don't want to look them in the eye. But she was like, no, look your sister in the eye. And before you know it, after minutes of doing that, all of a sudden you just started to hear just sniffles all around the room, and people just started crying, and no one was saying nothing. And before you know it, like Pastor Mia, she was saying that what you are experiencing is the hurt that you're looking in your sister's eye is the same hurt that you have. Wow. And we are supposed to be here for each other. So when you hurt, I hurt. And when I hurt, you hurt. And that experience stuck with me so much, because I remember prior to that, when I would come in contact, like, just in general and in passing, with like my Black sister, whatever, sometimes we would walk past each other and, you kind of do the little up and down look and you just keep on going or whatever. And at that time I was a teller at the financial institution I worked for. And I remember sometimes when I would have like a Black girl come to my window, there would be little conversation. There was just like, it was just not that warm, like inviting, like my sister, And after that, I remember I made it a point. Every time a Black girl came to my window, I would say something about, I love your sweater. I love that fingernail polish. Your hair looks good today, girl. Because it was like, it became real to me that we're each other's sisters. We're to support each other. There is no competition here, That's and beautiful. I thank God for all of the beautiful Black women that God has put around me, because I'm like, I'm better because because of the circle that God has put me in.
That's it. Praise God.
You guys inspire me so much. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so much out of this.
Yes, we are powerful together. We are.
Yes, we are. And I would like, and you've talked about a lot of things that you've accomplished, but if you had to choose like a milestone or event that just made you so proud of what you do, what might that event or milestone be?
I'd love to share a testimonial from one of my clients, if I can.
Yes.
So I'm just going to get my site up, my website, Hines-Gaither.com.
And I'll be sure to put that link below.
All right. So I just want to share, I, just completed a 3-month contract with Kaplan Early Learning Company. Mm-hmm. Kaplan Early Learning Company, they're the largest supplier, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I'm right about this. They're the largest supplier of early childhood resources, so books, games, furniture in the United States. And so, it was a real honor for Kaplan to call me and offer me this contract to work with them. I mean, the largest supplier of early childhood products in the United States. It just, it warmed my heart that they called me. And just to show you how things come back full circle, I was recommended to them from one of my former students. So do you see how I started my career trying to support my students? And now they're all, grown people working in jobs,
Yes.
And one of them, is a bigwig at this company, and she recommended me to work for them. Wow. So I did it. But again, those things will get you in the door. They won't keep you there. You have to have knowledge, the education. So my team and I, along with several of my other consultants, we did this 3-month contract to help Kaplan to reach their diversity goals. And so one of the vice presidents of Kaplan, Anna, she sent me a testimonial. And so I'll just end with that. She said, we hired Dr. Hines-Gaither of Hines-Gaither Consulting to help our company become educated on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to create a culture of inclusion that will be embedded in everything that we do. From the moment that Dr. Hines-Gaither arrived at Kaplan to the day of her last training session 3 months later, Dr. Hines-Gaither was a force for positive change.
Wow.
She successfully educated a culturally diverse workforce and got us all inspired to work toward diversity, equity, and inclusion. She conducted dozens of focus groups, surveys, trainings, and individual conversations that added valuable data to her recommendations. She also pulled in other experts to help us. Remember, you can't do it by yourself.
That's right.
She pulled in other experts to help us become more equitable in other aspects of our businesses. She has changed my life personally.
Wow.
And changed our business, which will impact the communities that we serve. Thank you, Dr. Hines-Gaither. We look forward to working with you again. And this is from Anna. She's the Vice President of Marketing and Merchandising at Kaplan. So those are the stories. One, that my students remember the work that I did with them and the impact that I had on them. And the fact that I'm able to offer service to this community that causes them to be able to reach their diversity and inclusion goals and make our communities better as a result of that.
That is, and one of the things that I heard that just went and stuck out to me, and that is hearing her say a force for positive change. Yes. I love that. I mean, the testimonial is amazing because it just is a testament really to who you are and to who God has helped you to develop to become just this amazing human being, this amazing mother, this amazing wife, this amazing friend, sister, cousin, daughter, all of the things that you are. It's a testament to that. And I would just like to encourage my community who are watching this that if out of everything that we said, I hope that you make the decision to become a force for positive change in your community, in your family, in the small, in whatever circle that you are in, that you make that decision to do it. Take what you have in your hands and just start where you are and choose to be that force for positive change. And I also want to encourage you that if you have not done so already, I want you to stop, take a moment, find a reason to laugh, and keep smiling. Until next time, and always be blessed.